So I'm a little bit neurotic when it comes to, well, everything in life. But especially when it comes to journaling and planning. I actually have a specific journal for almost everything in life, like a dream journal and a travel journal, but that's a story for another day.
Nobody asked.
Anyways, I love physical planners because if I don't have it written down, I end up not doing it because I'm both a huge procrastinator, like I literally am incapable of doing things until the deadline approaches, and also super forgetful. This is unfortunately no exception for how I approach games too. And so in Genshin, I end up wasting a whole bunch of transient resins and parametric opportunities and everything else in between. So to prevent this in the new year, I thought I'd create a planner just for Genshin. I say planner as if it's gonna be as high maintenance as a multi-spread bullet journal, but in reality it's just a monthly spread dedicated to Genshin. That also did not make it sound any more normal. So I actually already did a sample run to figure out how to best utilize a so-called Genshin planner, and I'm going to share the system that I ended up solidifying over the month. Of course, I've only used it for a month, so I'm assuming it'll be subject to change over the course of the year, but I'll share what I have going on so far, how I plan to use it for 2025, and maybe share tips on how you could try something like this too, because I feel like this general template could be applied to all other gacha games like Star Rail or Wuthering Waves. So the main problem with me that I wanted to address with the planner is that number one, I procrastinate on completing events and then forget to complete them before the end, which wastes primos. Number two, I procrastinate on doing weekly resets and then forget to do them, which wastes resources. And number three, I forget about what the upcoming banners are announced to be, and I forget to plan my pulls around it, which wastes wishes. So I needed a system where I could physically keep track of all of this, ideally in one nice visible layout, which is why I settled on a monthly spread. I created my planner on my iPad with an app called GoodNotes 5. My iPad is usually where I do my normal life planning, and I thought this would be most convenient for me. However, you could do the exact same on a notebook, a monthly calendar you find lying around your house, or even just on a blank piece of paper. One thing I will recommend though is separating the Genshin planner from your normal life planner, if you have one, because I feel like this game should never supersede or overshadow your normal day-to-day life plans. And having Genshin events scheduled all over your planner is going to be a highway to Genshin brain rot. I say this as if creating an entirely separate scheduler for Genshin is any better.
Maybe I do have more issues than a magazine stand.
Anyways, going back to the scheduler. So the first thing I wanted to track were daily resets because sometimes I genuinely forget to do my dailies and use up my resin. And on days I do finish my dailies, I panic later on during the day because I think I didn't do them. So I wanted a physical to-do list to check off that I did indeed do my dailies, which is why I created a checklist inside each day. After completing them, I'd simply just go back to my planner and check it off. Next is weekly resets. This includes things such as using up my transient resin, collecting Serenity Teapot realm currency, and completing the weekly TCG resets in the tavern. Yes, I actually do enjoy TCG, please don't come at me. I turned these into checklists that I placed next to each week, and they served as little weekly reminders of what I did and didn't complete for that week. This is great and all, but the biggest thing I wanted to track, and the reason I chose a monthly spread as my planner of choice, are events and banners. I used highlights to visualize the length of each banner and event. Banners are in different hues of purple, and events in different shades of orange, yellow, or green. And at the start of the highlights, I also made sure to write down what exactly the banner or event was. For events, I didn't write down the actual title of the events, but a shorthand, or I guess a nickname, to remind myself of what that event is. After I collected all the rewards in that event, I simply just put an X at the very end of the highlight. Next thing I wanted to track were endgame resets. Sometimes I'm really motivated to do endgame content the day it drops, but other times I genuinely cannot be bothered to deal with it. So I put off doing it, and then lo and behold, I forgot to do it for the entire month, and now I lost the opportunity to get some free primo gems. Anyways, since resets usually take longer than events, I decided to just write down when the theater and the best resets in pink on their corresponding dates. And then I crossed it off once I did that month's reset. The final thing I wanted to track was upgrade materials, specifically the ones in domains that only open on specific days of the week. Usually I'm trying to upgrade multiple characters at once, and that ends up making me lose track of what materials I was going to farm for on what day. So I decided to place photos of the characters I'm working on that month to the corresponding days where their domains open up. For example, in the month of December, I was working on upgrading Wanderer's talent, Yelan's talent, and Novelette's weapon. I put the representative images next to that day of the week. Once I was done farming, I'd simply just cross them off. I know this all seems to be a bit much, and I totally get it. This is definitely not something for everyone, but I genuinely think this will help me have a more balanced relationship with this game. I'd worry less about impending in-game deadlines and instead spend more real-life time generally being just less anxious. I also think this will help me play the game less, since once I checked off my to-do list, I can rest assured that I can quit the game whenever, instead of being stuck in an infinite loop of, I feel like I'm missing something. I'll just keep playing until I remember what it is that I need to complete. That's my justification anyways. I hope some of you guys found this video helpful or inspiring, or actually, I don't know if I wish this level of obsession with this game on anyone, but I'm just saying that if you guys exist, I hope this helped. If not, I hope it was at least entertaining to watch. But yeah, that's it from me today. Oh, and Happy New Year to everyone still watching. I really appreciate you guys. Well, till next time, bye!